Good morning, everybody, and welcome. So does everybody have their agenda or an agenda? Are there any changes or additions to the agenda? I have one thing that we're adding, and it's going to be called fishing. P-H-I-S-H-I-N-G. Fishing. Cindy will now do the roll call.
Good morning. First of all, I would like to thank Gold Country Rose Society for hosting this event. And Phyllis Smith, I'd like to recognize her as our president of Gold Country Rose Society. And you all know Dave Coop, who was our chairman extraordinaire. Okay, I did not bring the little twirly things, I apologize, so we'll pretend like we're back in school, and when you're voting, just raise your hand, please. Delegates only. Okay, we'll do the roll call. Butte? Here. Contra Costa is not here. East Bay? Here. Gold Country? Here. Golden Gate? Here. Honolulu's not here. Humboldt? Here. Lodi Woodbridge? Here. Marin? Here. Monterey Bay? Motherlode?
Here. So nobody here from Monterey Bay, right?
No one here from Monterey Bay. Thank you. Mount Diablo? Here. North Bay?
Here.
Peninsula?
Here.
Redwood Empire?
Here.
Reno?
Here.
Sacramento?
Here.
San Francisco? No one for them. San Mateo?
Here.
Santa Clara?
Here.
Shasta?
Here.
Sierra Foothills?
Here.
Woodland?
Here.
Okay, thank you.
What form is it?
Yes, so the societies missing are Contra Costa, Honolulu, Monterey Bay, and San Francisco.
We have a quorum.
We have a quorum. Okay, what's next? Okay, minutes from the spring business meeting. There's copies out there, and they were sent to an email, and they were also on the website. Any changes to the minutes? I already received some from Betty and incorporated those changes and under the photography report. Any other changes? Okay, then we will, they will be approved as corrected. Right, Mr. Parliamentarian?
Filed.
Filed as corrected. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cindy. Now I would like to let everybody know that the audit finally occurred, and the gentleman, Steve did a phenomenal job. He wrote down that he went through the general ledger, he went through the checkbook. He was very detailed in what he had done. So thank you, Lou, for doing that. And I would like to introduce our treasurer, Lou Evans.
Good morning. I'm happy to report that we're in good financial shape. The treasurer's report on the website is not quite current. I'll email Cindy the current one, and she'll have it on the website soon. We currently have $16,441 in our checking account. That compares to about $13,200 this date last year. But about $4,000 of that is because we had two Rose Societies fold. So we don't want that to happen anymore. Our CD was rolled over in April of this year for an 18-month term to a 2.42 percentage. That'll mature in October of 2020. And hopefully we'll even get a better rate at that time. Last year at this time, this year the current value is about $16,590. This time last year it was about $16,250. I want to thank Gold Country, who last night gave us a check for $172 from our commission on the rose sales. Thank you very much. We did make a donation several months ago, as voted at the spring meeting, to the ARS Research Endowment Trust, and I got a thank you note from the chairman of that committee, Bruce Monroe. The Criterion continues to do well, and near the end of the year now, you can start sending me your checks for $50 if you wish to continue your society's subscriptions. Just email the check, send the check to me by U.S. mail, and I'll let Jolene know who gets the electronic copy for your club. Year to date, we've only had $261 in expenses for the Criterion. It's a massive savings from previous years. It used to average about $1,800 a year to print and mail and send the Criterion. So the electronic version is really saving us a lot of money. That'll really do us well in the years to come. As you know, the raffle is our biggest single source of income, so please be generous in buying your tickets today.
We have still some lucky ones.
Sue has about 500,000 tickets left, so please be generous. On a personal note, I want to invite anybody in the Bay Area who wants to exhibit at Mount Diablo's Roadshow next weekend in Livermore. I got schedules here. See me after the meeting. Okay, any questions? Thank you.
Thank you, Lou. Marion, do you have anything to talk about?
No, I think everybody witnessed last night who our silver medal winner is.
She has nothing to say, but she's talking anyway, and she says, as a reminder to everybody, Betty Mott was our silver award winner last night. So where's Betty? Thank you. See, that was efficient, right? Deputy District Report. Scott.
Good morning, everybody. As everybody knows, I'm in charge of the Growing Our Societies Committee. And to date, we have 16 societies that have given me a member's name for this committee. So we're missing a few here, but that's okay. I didn't expect everybody. One of the things that we've had decided going forward here is to have a survey sent out to see what people is interested or trying to get people to join our societies. I sent an email out to our committee back in July asking for questions to put to a survey. And as of this time, I've received about 5 responses, and 2 of those responses have come from the same person, actually. So, but I went ahead with those responses, those questions, put them in another email, compiling all the questions, and again sent them out to the committee. And right now we're at about 6 responses. So not as much as I expected, but there's some good questions. So I'm going to be putting those, taking those questions that everybody's responded to and putting them into a survey, hopefully by the end of October, sending the survey out to the presidents and for them to distribute to their society members so that we can get going on this and find out what people are interested in or how we drive growing our societies. So that's where we are at this point, and that's about it. Any questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you. I know by now you're probably sick of listening to me, but I'm just going to say a few things. I leave next week to go to Tennessee for the ARS board meeting mini conference. Fishing, Phishing. Somebody approached me the other day saying that somebody is getting emails. Members are getting emails. Members are getting emails from their presidents saying, I desperately need you to go to Walmart and buy 3 gift cards for $100 each, take pictures and write the code on them and send it to me. So really go back and tell your members, tell everybody, look who the email is from. This happened to me a few years ago, and it was $12,000 they were asking for. And the treasurer at that time looked at it from her phone, and she sent the $12,000. So this organization did luckily have insurance, so we were able to recoup everything but $1,000. And we had to go to the FBI, we had to do a police report, we had to let go of the 2 people that were involved. It wasn't, we had to validate that it wasn't internal fraud. We had to fill out all this paperwork for the insurance. I had to go to the bank and instantly kick them off the account, and it was interesting. I learned a lot about the legal system or whatever. So just be careful, make sure. What this person also did was reply all, and copied me, so the person got my real email address. And so I let people know I never sign anything Sue Bennett. If it's official, it's Susan C. Bennett, or I usually sign Sue B. And I'll always put NCNH DD for those I send emails to. So if you get something that doesn't have it, but the key thing is to just train your employees, your members, yeah, we're all high-paying employees, members, your peers, and that's what happened to us based on our insurance. We have to go out and train our members, whether we put it in the criteria, in the newsletter, or whatever. Every year we have to remind them, be careful. And when we did this a while ago, well, April, May, somebody got an email and they went out and bought $1,000 worth of Apple stuff. iTunes, yes, the iTunes. And it's like, didn't you just hear what we said? She went out that morning and did it. I mean, so just warn your members. We're not quite sure. Our website, I only put the president's name and phone number, email, both, I think. I don't remember. But what they do is they can go to our website, find who your president is, go to your website, and find anybody that you have listed there. I don't know what we can do about it, how it can change. Just be cautious and just be aware of it. All righty? Yes, Jolene.
Could you possibly tell the audience exactly how to use their mouse to point to the email address so that it's visible and you can see it's not coming from who it says it's coming from?
So the question is, can I tell you how to look at it to determine where the message is coming from? You can take if you're on your computer, you can take your mouse and look at the name, click it on the name, and it will tell you. I do it on my phone. I hit reply all, because my phone has better security than my PC, I think, at home. And then I say, oh, this is spam, so I just put it into spam. But you can always go to your email address and just click on it on the top of the page. I don't know if it's a right key or left key, mouse, and you can always find out who it is. And AT&T, I get a lot from AT&T, I get a lot from Wells Fargo's bank, and it's nothing to do with AT&T, so there's a trigger right there. It's not coming from AT&T, it's coming from phishing, is what they call it. And phishing just means that they're out there fishing for information and they can use their email address with my name on it and stuff. There's all kinds of issues out there. So yeah, we didn't lose our insurance, but for 3 years we were on probation. And then the insurance, rather than paying for 3 years and you get a discount at 3 years, we're paying, not top dollar, but we're paying pretty good price now for every year until we can get our insurance renewed. So it's very costly, it's very expensive, it's very time consuming. Any other questions? Everybody understand what we're talking about here? Okay, that's it for me. Rick, parliamentarian.
Sue said if I let her have her way, I can have a blueberry muffin.
Bless Rick's heart. He said we're doing a wonderful job. Thank you. Are there any more awards to be presented this morning? Yes, Jolene, can you please come to the podium? I know it's hard getting used to coming to the podium.
As John wanted me to say, I'm not supposed to speak from the audience, I have to get up here. I said I was having trouble getting out of the chair and across from the table leg to get up here. Yes, Master Rosarians. We had, I think, 6. Thank you. I think 6. And if they are here, I would like to give them their certificate and their badge. If they're not here, I would like a representative from their local society to come up and get this stuff. So the first Master Rosarian is Richard Harris of the Reno Rose Society. And yeah, stay up here. We're going to do a group picture.
All right, thank you.
Stay up here. We're going to do a group picture. Hey, hey.
Go back closer.
Give me this. Please, we're going to do pictures afterwards. Sit down. I tell you, wives. The next Master Rosarian is Terry Hart. Santa Clara. Thank you.
What Rose Society?
Santa Clara.
Just a couple minutes.
Hang on. Stand over here. Oh, come here. Come here. Hold this. And here's your pin, and then go stand by Richard. Congratulations. Thank you.
They're saying thank you and congratulations.
Thank you. This is so awkward.
I know.
This is John Petrula's fault. The next Master Rosarian is Paula Jaffe from Marin. Paula, congratulations. Here. Next Master Rosarian is Brenda Wood, and she's from Monterey Bay. They're not here, so she'll have to wait to get it, won't she? And last but not least, the next Master Rosarian is Rebecca Shaw, Reno Rose Society. Did she leave already? Richard will take it.
She had to take care of her.
Oh, that's right, she had to get the dogs out of the dog thing. Oh, we awarded one last night because Sue McGill had to leave, but Debbie Arrington is also a Master Rosarian.
Thank you. We'll wait to take pictures now. Okay, this is yours. Thank you. This is mine. I'm going to ask who can tell me that they can, what it takes to be a Master Rosarian, but then you'd have to get up here to answer. At least 5 years as a producing active consultant Rosarian? 10, see? Making sure you're paying attention.
10 years.
You had to come back up here.
No, I don't have to.
Okay.
10 years of active service, a good service record because I keep records. They go all the way back to the 80s. Sustained effort for your local Rose Society. You've brought in members and can prove it because they're on the books. Okay? And you go out to the various events that your local society holds so you can talk about consulting Rosarians. That's what it takes to be a Master Rosarian.
And they do all their R&Rs. RIRs? Oh, all those.
Oh yeah, they do all the roses in review too. How about you guys? You tried to? Did you succeed? Did you get it done? I reckon. Mommy's gonna find out, you know that. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you and congratulations.
Congratulations. Thank you for taking Becca's.
Are there any other awards at this time? It's interesting because some people didn't do their RIRs all along. So we have to, consecutively, so we have to look at them and say, well, And Jerry will talk about those, right? Okay, so we're going to move on to committee reports. I know everybody just wants to go. Joan Goff, our immediate past district director, do you have anything to say? She has nothing to say, and I don't know if you've heard, she did have surgery and it didn't work, she said. So she's still in a lot of pain. Consulting Rosarian, Jolene, do you have anything to say?
Yes, I do.
You know, she's a wealth of knowledge, so I'm grateful for her.
Okay. The Consulting Rosarian report for this conference. We held a CR school in Pleasanton. We were really, really pleased that so many people attended, and we got 5 more Consulting Rosarians, and they're good people. They're going to do great. Master Rosarians, we just went through that. You heard who they are. The Outstanding Consulting Rosarian was awarded last night, and it went to Dave Coop. The Consulting Rosarian Manual from ARS is being revised chapter by chapter. The new national chairs have been infuriated by the fact that it hadn't been updated so long that they're making all of us work very hard. I don't think it's fair. Candidates for CR schools now only have to be ARS members for 2 consecutive years, which is similar now to what the judges go through. It used to be 3, now it's 2. 1 continuing education credit can be earned if a CR writes an article, sends it to me, so that the committee can check to make sure it's a Consulting Rosarian type article. Then if it gets published either in the ARS magazine or in the Criterion, they can get 1 continuing education point. But they can only do this once in every 4 years. But if you're lacking a point, and I've been nagging you, write. You learned how to do this in grade school. You know how to write. CR status table on the district website was updated after the CR school, so it showed 143 active CRs with 47 emeritus and your status as of July. It will be updated again after this conference is complete. And
Emeritus, was that again 43 or 47?
47.
Can you repeat that the question was?
The question was, what did you say about emeritus CRs, how many they were? I said there were 47 emeritus CRs. Thank you.
Thank you, Jolene. Horticulture's Judges Chairman Martine LaBelle. I'm getting my exercises. My legs are getting its workout.
Good morning, Sue. Right now, excuse me, right now we have 53 active judges, 1 person who has gone emeritus, and 3 apprentices. We had a very successful March seminar after the spring meeting with about 23 attendees. Right now we have 13 people who are in jeopardy of losing their judges status due to lack of points. Because of that, we will be having a school November 2nd in San Francisco. It's on OGRs. I listened to what people complained that they were weak on. So OGRs was the second item. Steve Jones is the instructor. I have sent emails to all the judges with a brochure, but if you still don't feel like printing them out, I have more. We will be having a full-on school in April April 18th. It will be at Baldo Villegas' home. He was very gracious to open up his home to do this. And I will be tapping people for their assistance in presenting this program, and he has given me some recommendations. I thank you all for your support in my pretty much first year of doing this, so thank you very much.
What was the date at Baldo's?
Baldo will be the 18th of April. It is a Saturday.
I'm looking for my calendar.
Okay, do you need a pen?
Thank you, Martine.
Okay.
I know Martin is not here. Did he leave a report at all?
That is report, yes.
Okay. Did you want to read it?
Sure.
Okay, this is a report from Martin Cooey, who's our arrangement judge, coordinator. Currently, we have 14 arrangement judges, 10 are active, 2 are apprentice, and 2 are inactive. All the judges' reports were turned in for the year. Judging status, all judges except 2 are current until 2022. There's going to be a seminar in the fall to get the remaining 2 judges current. Seminar will be in Glen Ellen, October or November, mini school audit only. National chairs agreed, just waiting on the date, so we haven't heard any more on that. This is his report from August, actually. Many schedules have included arrangements that are larger than 10 inches. Arrangements greater than 10 inches are not eligible for ARS awards. A society can award its own certificate or award. National Chair is looking at extending the mini arrangements to 12 inches, but that will only take place in the next revision of the guidelines if it's agreed upon. Future events, workshops will not happen until next year, meaning 2020. Website with examples of each type of arrangements is scheduled for the winter of this year. Possible combined workshop with photography chair on photographing arrangements.
Thank you. Are we having fun yet? Photography Judge Chairman Betty Mott. And here comes, where's your silver, honey?
It's in my purse.
Okay, oh yeah, you don't have
I
a,
haven't left it. I don't have the, stuff that goes with it yet. So, this year there were 4 photography workshops held, one in Marin Rose Society, San Mateo County, Sierra Foothills, and North Bay. And the good news is that after working on this for a couple years, on September 20th, I received an official notification from Bruce Monroe, the ARS horticultural chair, and in his email he said that ARS seminars on judging rose photography are to be eligible for horticulture judging credit, provided that they are presented by ARS accredited judges. And they follow the requirements and rules for seminars in schools. So he put it in writing, so give your judges credit when they attend an ARS seminar or local seminar on judging rose photography. So that is a good achievement. So I look forward to that. And also, Martine, I believe, since you're our horticultural chair, it would be, we would have a sign-up list, and then we would send it to you, and then you would forward it to the national chair. Was that right, Jolene? Okay, so that's a big one. Thank you. So moving forward, please read the criterion. So this is photography resources for judges and exhibitors. Our criterion is an excellent resource for you. I have to compliment Lou for writing an article on organizing your photos. That's half the battle, it really is. Thank you, thank you. Also, I wrote an article on the prime elements of judging composition, this time on ethics and intellectual property. Please read The American Rose. This is it's like a textbook for rose photography. Not only looking at the photographs, judging them yourself against your photographs, but I have to say, Curtis, our national chair, is doing a great job. He has articles that are called Visual Impact, and they're really spot on now. And as we develop photography at the national level and our level, there's information that can guide you. And so please look at that. In particular, he actually had an article on tips for rose photography schedules. So this is the time. You're thinking of next year. We have to be in compliance. If you're going to give ARS awards of any kind, you need to be in compliance. So this is a great article there for you to consider. He also says you have to read the guidelines. That's where you get your information. Yes, we have amazing photographers amongst us, but you have to read the guidelines, because even judging this show, people were going, oh, I don't know, what should I do here? There were 2 photographs of the same rose, and you can only give a blue, just like in Hort. You couldn't give, they were both blues, but you couldn't give 2 blues because they were the same variety. So these are the things you need to know, and it's that guideline that answers your questions. The only things you really need to do that you must have in your schedules is you have to have the point score guideline. You must have that in your schedules, and you also have to have that legal disclaimer regarding intellectual property. That's to protect everyone. So 2 things you must have. And boy, he has encouraged everybody to do photography, and I maybe pushed us too fast to the 8x10s, because in the East Coast, some societies that start simply have a 4x6, a 5x7, no matting, no mounting, anything, just to get you guys started. But I still am going to defend going to 8x10, because that's where you really see what the photographer did and the quality of the photograph. And now that we know about Dave's magic tape, you never have to buy another setup again. He was the one who told us about the medical tape. And so you just reuse them, reuse them, reuse them. Your only cost now is printing. You don't have to keep buying the mats. So keep that in mind. Please encourage juniors in your photography schedule. It's the way to get and grab the new generation of rose lovers coming up. Grandparents, you just take your grandchildren out in your rose gardens. You all have labels. They can't screw up. They're going to know the right name of the rose. So please encourage, and thank you to Butte, because they were the first Rose Society to have a junior class. Awesome, thank you. So please, when you write your schedules, very easy. We did it in Marin, and it said, juniors class, open to all youthful photographers 17 and under. We do want them to name the rose. If you don't want to get them started on a bad habit, name the rose. It can be a photograph of anything that has a rose in it, so keep that in mind. So, moving forward to 2020, remember the winter months are the perfect time to go through your rose photographs. Delete, delete, delete. You're loading up your computers. You don't need those. You don't need 5 photos of the same rose. Or if you're Sheriff Frechette, 40. And maybe 80. She sits there and clicks and clicks. And so, but you can't do that. So please, the winter months, there's nothing to do in your garden. It's time to delete and organize and get those files going, so you don't enter the same photograph twice. Start now. If you see a good one, move it into a file saying, 2020. So that's a good way to go. Spring is your best time to photograph. Less background distractions, more petaled roses and disease-free foliage. You don't have to start putting stuff on the ground and doing all this stuff. So photograph, photograph, photograph. Remember to take photographs when you travel. Those are the great rose garden shots. Again, if you're photographing while you're traveling, do what you can and not get in trouble to find the name of the rose, even if you got to dig in and get the little coin on it, but you need to know the name of the rose. And I think that is pretty much it, unless if you, at this time, do not include rose photography, please call me or email me, and we'll figure a way for you to get started. It can be as simple as they do in the East Coast, where you just have photos on a table. We'll make it work, and then you'll grow and get to the 8x10s. Thank you. Oh, any questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Isn't her speech even silver award winning? I mean, bless you. And I'm going to talk about David for a second. I'm going to take a breather. I went up and congratulated Dave, and he said, there are far superior consultants. And we said, if they were, we would have awarded them. But wonderful job, both of you guys. The criterion, Linda and Ted, do you have anything to report? You have to come up here, honey. I'm used to working with kids, so everybody's a honey. Don't get offended if I call you girlfriend, boyfriend, or honey.
No, I just want to reiterate that please think about writing an article so you can get that 1 CR credit. Everybody has a different perspective on what kind of articles to write. Could be membership for your society, youth membership, arrangements, how to grow societies. It doesn't just have to be about exhibiting or bugs or diseases. So make it interesting. And thanks again for your support. We appreciate all the articles you do send in.
When's the next deadline?
Deadline is December 1st. Oh. So you have a little bit of time to think about it. Thanks.
Thank you, Linda. And Ted. Our NCNH webmistress, Gail, do you have anything to say? You need to come up here. No, I don't have it. She has nothing to say. She would like to say that she is irreplaceable, but it's time to replace her with someone else. Is that correct?
That sounds good.
She's Trophies and Awards Chairman Dave Coop.
Oh, nothing to report.
He has nothing to report because he did all his work yesterday. Thank you so much for the Rose Show and all the certificates and everything. It was wonderful. Now we'll take a few minutes. Sue McGill, do you want to sell some more tickets?
Oh, I do.
So why don't we take 10 minutes? Is that okay with everybody? The coffee must be going through by now. Why don't we take 10 minutes? It's 10:12. We'll be back at 10:25. I'm going to start at 10:25. So buy tickets, go party, and we'll be back here in a bit. Thank you. Go. Barry, we'll now talk about Roses in Review. And do you want to talk about the convention, maybe, a conference? He said no. Okay, then.
Good morning. I wanted to thank everyone for doing the Roses in Review this year. We had some good responses. I'd also like to acknowledge and thank Sheriff Frechette for mentoring and being a resource to me in this first year. Thank you. As of the deadline, which was September the 26th, there were approximately 650 reviews done on the national level. Among that were approximately 125 from our district. So I think we had a really good participation in this. I will be getting more of the raw data coming in. I'm expecting to get that for all the the districts, approximately November 1st. So I'll try to get the data out to you, get it over to Ted and Linda to get it into the criteria. If there's anything that, as I generate these reports, if there's any kind of specific information that you'd like or presented, please let me know, and I'll try to kind of format that to make it meaningful to you. And with that, I think that's about it. It seems like this year was a lot smoother for many people. The database online submission was improved. I still got several paper forms, which is fine. I was able to do that right away. So Any other feedback on the online submission, let me know and I'll pass that on to the national people. Okay, Rose?
I was unable to print out the results of my entries.
No one could. That
Can
was
you
one.
repeat the question?
That was something that was in the past. So I'd like to keep track of that, so if that could be arranged.
Okay, the comment was, once you submit your data, there's not really, in this present system, the way to retrieve
The results.
what you have already entered, and then you may want to compare that to the district and national, but I'll be sure to pass that on. Thank you. Ms. Adams?
Several of the CRs that I nagged a lot said that after they did their review, they did not get a response saying, thank you for completing your review, so that they knew it had gotten in there. It just, disappeared.
So repeat what you said.
Okay, the repeat comment was, after you had submitted that, you really didn't know what happened. Did it go into the black hole? Did Jolene keep nagging you? And you kept saying, well, I did it. So I'll go ahead and look into that, pass on that information if there's a way to acknowledge that you have submitted it. Excellent comment, thank you.
No, I just said thank you because I wonder, because I don't want to get docked for not doing it.
Okay, the comment in the back, she concurred with Jolene. Charlie Malarkey?
Is there a way if you've done it, you don't keep getting those emails reminding you to do it?
Not my circus, not my monkeys. The question, comment was those persistent requests to complete
He
it.
means the ARS request.
The ARS
not
request.
law.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Sue.
Thank you, Jerry. Jerry sat next to me at the Lodi board meeting. He'll never sit next to me again. But he's enjoying it, I think. Thank you. Next on the agenda is Kathy Pafari, Directory, District Directory. And she'll never sit next to me either. And I know who she is because I took her name tag to remember.
You sure did. Oh, gosh. And I don't know why I did it. Anyway, it's time to start sending in names of new presidents. How many have new presidents? Not many, do you? But please email them to me. My email address is real easy, kathypafari@gmail.com. And, also, when you get your boards, I want the list of all your, board members and such. If you have deaths, that are significant, like Consulting Rosarian, or a board member, or somebody, please notify us. And you can notify me, Jolene, anybody, but we really need to keep our database up to date. Thank you.
I have a question.
Yes?
In the old days, before they revamped the ARS website, there used to be a form where you filled all that out and it went to the district directory person. Is that gone now?
Evidently.
Okay, the question?
She wanted to know if there was a form online that you could fill out. There used to be, evidently.
Can I answer that?
Sure. Thank you.
So the answer is the district does have one. We tend to turn it off because we get a lot of spam mail from Russia, all over the place. So we work with Gail to turn it back on when it's appropriately the time. And
Okay.
yeah, so we have turned it off because I get it, she gets it,
Oh.
and maybe one other person who gets it, who's Jolene gets it. And I can tell you, we get so much spam, so much from these emails I can't even read.
So it's better to just email you
Personally, please.
Oh, we'll turn it on because we need all that information for the yearbook, the directory. But what I'm asking Kathy, or I asked Kathy, and we're going to look into seeing what we can do to do something more online user-friendly. So you can put in the information, it will go to a file, not the file that we get now because we can't do anything with that file.
No.
A database or an Excel spreadsheet, and then we can strip and sort that Excel spreadsheet any way we want to and stuff and use what we need. But what I'm finding is the information we're asking for is not always relevant anymore, so we really need to take a step back and look at what we're asking for.
Yes.
So Gail, we can put it back on if you don't mind. And put Kathy's name. Thank you.
Nope, I have nothing else to say. Any other questions? Thanks.
Thank you, Kathy. Historian Anne Marie Harris. And bless Kathy's heart, she became appointed as the director, and she said, well, you didn't send me any files, what can I do? And it's like, oh, I sent them.
And if I got them, I would have scanned them and given them back. Anyway, I'm continuing my effort to scan and create electronic versions of all of the district documents. I need your help. My records only cover a short 12-year period. That means I'm missing decades worth of things. So please, when you clean out your files, your hard copies, save those for me. Bring them to the business meetings. I will take them away from you. You never have to deal with them again unless you want them back. Meantime, I was talking with Sue after the show. Is there a show book that's handed from one conference society?
There used to be.
There used to be, yes. Where is it?
We gave it off.
And there's something, a project for all of you. Please check your records. Please, if you have that binder, hand it to the good people at Gold Country so they can update it, and it can be passed on to the next group of people. Because these things are invaluable resources for planning future events. And also, some of the show schedules are wonderful to go back and borrow entire themes, and you don't have to totally rewrite a show schedule. And that's it for now.
Thank you. And you know what? We can even put something together that has all the themes. So it's a sheet of, yeah, because we can put it available to everybody. It's a template like. And they have snow in Reno.
I do have a list of the names, the themes for a lot of the shows, but I've got nothing behind that.
Oh, okay.
Some of the results have been published in the Criterion, and they were previously published in the ARS exhibitors' quarterly publications, and also the arrangers' judges' quarterly publications. But the name of the class number, the name of the person, the name of the roses really doesn't help the rest of us pick better roses for our particular region. So any other comments? Okay, done again. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, our youth chairman, Deborah. Come on down. Is it hot in here, or is it just me? Yes, a little bit, please. I'll go look at the heater.
Thank you, Sue.
Be right back.
Okay. Hi. It's been such a pleasure this last year to be the youth chair. Sue asked me, and she's already the garden youth chair for the national. So anyway, I got to speak at the last district meeting, and my dear friends, our new friends, louder. Anyway, we had a lot of fun just chit-chatting about things you can do at the your road shows, and I had a lot of ideas from Chico and a bunch that I can't, really run, but I know that everybody's doing a lot of stuff already. So I'm hoping to just kind of collect these ideas and be able to pass them out, share them at the Criterion, and I talked to Ted. And anyway, but we got together, Marie called me, and I was able to send her the little anchor pins and the the wonderful sticky dots. And then they just had an amazing rose show, and I'm going to let them talk about it real quick.
You might have read the article in the Criterion that Mount Diablo Rose Society took the idea from Deborah, and we had a very successful bouquet giveaway with youth at our spring show. We probably had just over 60 children leave with a smile on their face with a beautiful bouquet that they put together themselves. Deborah was a champion providing direction on the supplies and gave support. Marie is our youth champion. This is not our first attempt for a children's activity. In the past, we gave away free mini roses that we obtained from a rose nursery as plugs and then nursed them along. And we gave away about 120 mini roses to children. But this past year, with Deborah's suggestions, we gave away the bouquets in a plastic cup, basically, and very successful. We think one reason we have so many children is we recently changed our venue to the public library. Saturday morning at the public library, there's a lot of children and parents going in and out, and we have a very enthusiastic member who was herding those children into our rose show. And the parents and the children saw the roses, they made a bouquet. It was totally successful. I highly encourage anybody who's interested, either contact Deborah or Marie McGarvey for helpful hints and any other suggestions or mentoring that you need. But the whole society was very thankful that we picked up this new activity. So thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. That was so incredibly fun. And so anyway, I can mail any supplies you need, just a little off in the mail, and you're set to go. And I also brought a box, if anybody would like to purchase all different colors. I just had so much fun at Party Smart, I can believe it. So I purchased them, and if you'd like to pick out whatever you'd like, you can get them today. And some anchor pins, but I'm giving a lot to Marie. She has first choice of all the anchor pins and the sticky dots, and you can see what these are. And I just want to say that these were all done with the same principle. It's just an oasis, a sticky dot, anchor pin, oasis, and these are the beautiful roses from the show. So we have a 2-day show usually in the Mother Lode, and so this year I'm going to get all the roses that they take down too. Anyway, I used Baldo's roses yesterday for all the picnic tables, and it's so easy. You just, one after the other. So I was going to go buy roses for the lunch, and I had roses, and I was just praying that this would work out last night. And then I had so much fun with Barbara Gordon and Rebecca, just throwing it all together, and they were just gorgeous. So anyway, this is kind of a nice advertisement for how easy it is. Anyway, I think I'm done. Thank you. Oh yeah, is there any questions? One more thing. If you have wonderful ideas that you've done, and I know that there's been plenty of them, please just, I should have put my email on there, just email your ideas, and then I will continue to pass it on through the criterion of what we can do next. Oh yes, I know there was one more thing. Okay, so on this little paper it talks about the fun things that I was excited about, and one of them, just like Betty was talking about with the photos, we can, whoever's the scheduler and the presidents, you can put in your Rose Show schedules, youth classes. Just like a novice class, you can have a youth class, and in that, it can be photography, it can be arrangements. You know, they can even have their little teeny bouquets that they learned how to do the prior year. There can be an arrangements class with these little simple bouquets in a cup. There could be also.
A teacup one.
And teacup. In fact, somebody from our Rose Society called me up and said, "We know you got a lot of roses. We're having a wedding." So she came over and anyway, we filled up the whole table with teacups for the wedding with the same principle. And that's kind of how it developed with me, that way, for this wedding. So anyway, and then when I went to the fair, I normally kind of sneak out of the fair because it's so dang hot. But I realized it was an air-conditioned building in there, and I could have done this at the fair, easy peasy, and had so much fun. And then you can get members from the fair. You know, it's another wonderful thing. So let me think. And tin cans. This is like peaches. You can use. And the last time I just brought a bunch of cans, and the kids decorated them, you know, with ribbons and bows and whatever. Anyway, and then members saw, oh, that looks fun, and so then members came in and did it too, you know, while they were waiting for trophies. Okay, am I done? Oh yeah, Girl Scouts, and of course libraries. Yes, Jeannie?
How did you incorporate the bunny?
Okay, the bunny. We have a very famous bunny in Amador County, and if you look there, I also have my dove, Lovey-Dovey. So Lovey-Dovey and Bunny got to meet, and Bunny was on the table, and Bunny just had such a smorgasbord. Okay, any other questions? His name is Bun Bun, the bunny, and he's all over the place. He's many, in fact, I am going to bunny picture photo. I'll win. Now you know it's going to be me. Okay, anyway, here you go. Thank you.
So let's have some enthusiasm. We had done one once where we had people collect cans, and then we spray painted them all black or whatever the case may be, and we got simple straws. For Valentine's Day, we got red and white straws and little foam, and we had the kids use the straws as like a backdrop and decorative, so they think outside the box a little bit more. And that was a lot of fun. And then I liked the idea so much that I did it with my garden club. And we did a Christmas theme, and those became our centerpieces with the green and red straws instead. And I know they're not going to sell straws anymore, so you have to be careful with the plastic or the paper, because the paper will get really wet in an arrangement. Okay, moving right along. We're under upcoming district events. Eileen Jackson? Yeah, leave it there for you.
Thank you. Okay, the spring business meeting will be held at the Senior Center in Vallejo. Does everybody know where Vallejo is? Good. Most of you, if you're a judge, you've probably been there judging our shows. Okay, it's going to be on March the 14th, Saturday, second Saturday of March. And it's going to be at like 9:30. Well, we'll have breakfast at 8:39. We're going to see if we can get a decent breakfast set up for you. And then the meeting will be at 9:30 till 12. Then we'll have the potluck. And then after the potluck, of course, and the raffle, of course, then we're going to have a talk by a CR, which we haven't figured out who or what yet, but it will happen, because then you can get a CR point. So by coming to the meeting, you can get a free CR point.
And you welcome everybody. You hope everybody comes.
And we're going to what? Sorry?
You hope everybody comes.
Well, I hope everybody comes. Why wouldn't you? Well, it's a nice place. You know, we have a nice senior center there and free parking. And I would advise you to come in through the back door. Just one thing, because that's where the parking lot is. And there's a back door right there. And we'll probably set up the registration desk at the back door, because the front door, then you got to walk away around the street. So just be aware that the back door will be open, and that's the easiest way in. Any questions? March 14th. Got it? At the Senior Center in Vallejo, it'll be in the Criterion, 333 Amador Street. It's called the Florence Douglass Center.
It's a Saturday,
It's a Saturday,
2020.
second Saturday of March 2020. Okay. Oh, yeah, don't forget to bring good food for the potluck. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, good. I didn't ask you. Would you like to come up?
Yes.
Stu will now come up and maybe get some feedback, input, advice on a good time in his area.
You could say I might be the fall guy. Sorry. You want to take it? In East Bay? No, actually, we are, just as it says, interested in hosting the fall meeting. That's one reason we brought a few people up here, even some coming right off of sick bay, sort of, to be able to watch and see what happened and get good ideas. And one of the things that we're still interested in is connecting this in some way with Filoli. The last few years we've been working with Filoli on some things. I've actually been giving classes for the docents in the Rose Garden at Filoli the last 2 years, and we've been talking at their flower days and things like that. And they actually approached us with the idea that they may be able to get a special deal for Filoli. Because the good news and the bad news, great venue. Bad news, wedding venue. And so the prices for the food, the prices for the rental are wedding prices. So that's the big issue. If you did everything there, forget it. I mean, 3 times the cost of a regular.
Just give him an idea.
Well, we've got some ideas. And
No, about the price.
Oh, okay. We're talking maybe if you did everything, including all the meals there, because you have to use their caterers, their approved caterers, and you can't do anything else. You can't bring anything else. And you can only use certain venues because one of the little restrictions is no garden flowers into Filoli. You can do it in the visitor center and things like that. We've been through the insurance. We've been through many other things. 30,000. If you wanted to do the whole kit and caboodle there. And that doesn't include the fact that you have to have venues elsewhere. Hotel, for instance. But we do have a couple of options, and we're looking at all of these options, including having just the day and the fall meeting, and, the fall show on the Filoli venue, and then having some tours. And if we did that, because of the rental, it would include 200 access all day for everybody to go through the gardens, and we could have tours set up and all that. That's the good news. That's a lot less for the venue, but you still have to deal with the food, and bringing it on site. You can't bring Costco food. You can't have outside caterers, all that. The third is, and we also have a very good alternate venue just a couple miles away, Kenyatta College, that we've already talked to, looked at. It would be a great venue for everything if we needed it. And so that talks about how you could switch off between the show itself on the Saturday and then have other things there on Sunday at the Kenyatta College, and the gala would be great there. And you'd have a place for the video so that they could get a decent video. And then the third version is probably the cheapest, which is do it at a hotel or another venue, and then have tours of Filoli, and possibly, and that's the most workable, but the tours. And I've been talking with the head of horticulture there, who I've been working with, and trying to get him to be possibly a keynote speaker or one of the speakers. We have a lot of people in the area that could be good other speakers. I've also happened to be working with the Master Gardeners there as the leader of the Speakers Bureau for that area, and so I know a bunch of good speakers, I think, that might be others that might. So we're not decided yet. I still haven't all the spreadsheets with all the details and the hotel options and logistics. et cetera. But that's where we are right now. We are still interested. We're still trying to work it through to find some good options. And even the third option, I think, would be an interesting one, where we have a tour, we have speakers, we have a lot of connections with Filoli. We have some docents and volunteers at Filoli that are in our society, and as I say, we've been working with them. So that's where we are right now.
When will you know?
We're trying to do that in the next month or so. We've got to get the bids from the hotels and things, and we're working on that. And Judy Webster, who came out of the sick bay to be here, has worked in the hotel industry. She's at the end of our aisle there. And she has volunteered, and so we're using her volunteer activities because she's worked in that industry and trying to work it out. Thank you.
Question?
Oh, I'm sorry, questions?
Can we get an idea from the audience who would be interested in going?
Oh, that's right. I meant to
you ask
ask.
the question?
Yeah, let me ask a question. Might be interested in going in. First, I'll ask in any of those options, like 1, 2, or 3. Anybody that would be interested in going.
Some of them have to go.
Some of them, okay. Well, I'd say that's about at least 75%. And then if it were a bit more expensive, we're trying not to get it too much more expensive, obviously. We're trying hard, because that's a helpful indication of what we need to do. If it's a little more expensive than, say, this one, people interested?
What's more expensive? Yeah.
Yeah, well, right, let's see. We had, what, 110 for the whole package this year.
Oh, registration.
The whole package of tours, dinners, registration. Say that it was 150, an example.
Does that include trip?
That would include something in Filoli, probably not the whole thing, but people that would be interested at 150, so that cut out, I'd say. The hotel is the bigger expense, and we need to work on that separately. Okay. Yeah. I don't think we're going to get full feedback on that. We are going to have to try on the
What
hotel.
kind of prices are you looking at for the hotel, just to get a ballpark?
The ballpark on the hotel, this one was 168, I think. Have you heard any yet?
Yeah, under $200.
Okay, under 200, this was 168, so something under 200 is the rough hotel. There was a question in the back.
The one question I had, and I think I mentioned it to Jerry, if we have the Rose show at Filoli in the big ballroom.
Oh, it's not can't be in the ballroom because you can't bring roses in there. Can't be in the ballroom because you can't bring roses in there. It's in the visitor center attached lecture hall. We've actually laid it out, etc. You can go in there on the tour if we rent that. You can go through the whole house, in fact.
I understand.
Yeah.
But I was of the understanding that you can't bring any flowers into the house.
Theoretically, if we can get the head of horticulture to give us a pass, we're not going to be bringing diseased roses in, etc. That would have to be worked out, but that is in the the rules and obligations when you sign up.
The question about that is, we would need to be able to
I better repeat.
drive our cars around, and if that isn't allowed, I would not be able to enter Rose.
Actually, it's an excellent point because we looked at, let me repeat the question. Can you drive the cars to the actual venue? And we have a limitation. We can get into the parking lot early. We've worked that through. Do what you can there. There's a good place to stage and prep. There's an actual prep room and an outside area to enter. We've looked at that. That all works. Getting there, we will have to make special arrangements because they say that particular area has to, the only people that can drive in that one are the service vehicles, and we've been talking to them about that. But it's up a little hill, and it would have to be carts up the hill or something like that, which is tough. Yeah, that's a good point. And we have been looking at that. So.
And the tour buses can become a problem too. There's tour buses on that weekend.
But that I think we can deal with because there are places for tour buses to park. They can drop people off. That all can work. I think. I think the big issue is, we've actually looked at that exact issue. Yes?
In 1979, we had a tour of Filoli, and we stayed at Ricky's Hyatt, which is no longer there. But we did everything at the hotel, and then we just had a separate tour for the Filoli. I don't know how much hotels are going to be, but this one was pricey.
Well,
I know it doesn't seem like there's a lot of money.
let me repeat that. They in '79, I think you said, they had one at Ricky's Hyatt and went to Filoli, and that was pricey back then. So we understand that. That's the big bogey that we have, is to try and deal with the pricing and such. The good news is, we're in decent shape, but that doesn't mean we can take a big hit. We'll have to look for donations. And of course, the other thing is, we've already heard several societies saying, we were willing to help on, go down the list, photography or schedules or bottles or whatever. And so we're counting on that too. Our ketchup bottles probably aren't quite as elegant as some of the other bottles that we've used for our local shows.
Make the logistics as easy as possible.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what we've heard a couple of times. So that make the logistics easy. So, any other comments, questions for me before I sit down? Thank you. Got a lot of feedback.
Yeah. Thank you.
I don't have one thing to add. I'm sorry. No. This is not on the row show.
That's okay.
This is on what we did in a display show, just to reinforce the youth theme. I know you're listening. We also had Karen Flores, who is an arranger at Filoli, in fact, come down and give, in the middle of the show, the families got up and did things. Barbara Gordon helped by providing materials like Oasis already done in the little, I think they were cups from detergent bottles and things, and those are all done, and they had a great time, and everybody was moving around and having a great time, and the families, probably 20 families got up there and all left with little arrangements, and that was really nice.
What was your venue for that display show?
It's the one we've always used. It will work, actually, for this Rose show.
What's it called?
It's one of the community center activities, community activities building in Redwood City, right? It's not our monthly show venue, which is the Veterans, but it's one that we've used for many years. It seems a little tired, but it certainly works. It is not a hotel. And it has a kitchen, it has a breakout room for judges' breakfast, it has things like that, and a separate lunch room and things. You can bring Costco or anything into that. So it has several cost advantages. Everything except the hotel could be done there, and that's sort of one of the fallbacks possibilities. So, any more? Sorry.
Thank you. I was going to say something and I forgot. So it sounds like Filoli is probably not a good place for the show, but we can always go tour them. And having buses show up at Filoli is a benefit. It would have been a benefit because then we would have got a lot more outside foot traffic. Do you know how much foot traffic we got yesterday outside, David? I know there was about 4 or 5 kids I saw and a few other people. Rebecca, the speaker from Austin, we were talking last night, and she was impressed that we had signs at the desk advertising the Rose Show. She said, what a simple concept. So she learned something new, and she was really, wow, that's a good way to get members in and stuff. Okay, moving right along. As you can see, we have Sierra Foothills. We don't need an update right now.
Okay.
So, and we go down to unfinished business. We still need to have future meetings. We are looking for the 2021 conference. And everybody's thinking about it. And if you start now, you can kind of put in your budget and start having fundraisers. And okay, don't all look at me at once. Okay, and I must admit, Jolene had given me a list of some of the people I should approach, and I don't know what I did with the list. We are still looking for membership, the Memorial Fund, programs and speakers, site development, and a website master or mistress. So if you're interested, please let me know. If you know somebody within your organization, please let me know and I can contact them. I can't do everything. That's what I tell people. I can't do everything, and I can't do all this either. Anything else to come before the board? I'm going to adjourn it, and then Sue can sell more tickets and do a raffle. How's that? Meeting adjourned.